Mike, thank you, and welcome to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Another capacity crowd here at Plainsman Park for game number 2 between Auburn and College World Series hopeful Ole Miss. The Rebels just one win away from what would be their 7th trip to college baseball's promised land. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside College Baseball Hall of Famer Todd Walker. If you're Ole Miss, you can taste it. There was an air of celebration last night. For Auburn, an air of finality is you've got to find a win to keep your season alive.
Well, Auburn lost the first game of the regional, came back, won 4 in a row. As for Ole Miss, Mike Bianco has taken them to Omaha twice in his last 25 years. That's how hard it is to get there. For Ole Miss, I mean, they're fighting themselves. They can't get overamped. They can't look ahead. They're one win away from Omaha, but there's a long way to go.
Pair of home runs for the Rebels last night in the 6-4 victory. And so now, game number 2 of the Super Regional, Auburn is the visiting team on the scoreboard. Mason McCrane is back in right field after he was limited to DH duties last night due to illness. He'll lead things off. He had 3 hits last night, but the Tigers left too many men on base. They're going to face a fireballer. Taylor Rabe, the 6'5 sophomore from Greenville, South Carolina, has elite heat.
Been dominant lately. Last 2 starts against Alabama and Nebraska in the regional. He's gone 6 in each start, 1 earned run total. 36 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. High velocity fastball, can touch 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that is a 9-1 strikeout to walk ratio. 90 Ks, just 10 walks in the season, and a first pitch fastball at 95 to get things started. That fastball will touch triple digits if he is feeling right today. McCrane fouls one back. Now 0-2. Mason McCrane, 3 hits last night. Now hitting .417 in the postseason with a couple of home runs, 4 doubles and a triple.
He's just a complete hitter. Last night he went the opposite way down the left field line for a double. And then he came up in the 9th and hit a home run to right over the batting cages. A lot of power from this kid.
Fastball up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to McCrane, who doesn't have an issue with high velocity heat. He's hitting .357 against fastballs of 94 plus with an OPS over 1,000. "90 home runs on the season for Auburn. The power came late in the year. McCrane starts with a 1-hopper to Will Furness, and he'll win the race to the bag for the first out. Let's take a look at Taylor Rabe's pitch usage.
Yeah, we talked about the fastball, the 4-seamer, the cutter will come in, the 2-seamer at 92 miles an hour. He throws sliders to right-handers, change-ups to lefties. The breakers, the cuts and the sliders get 40% whiff, and he is number 1 in the conference in the SEC in strikeouts per 9. That's 13.7.
He's dealing with an Auburn offense which has found its power stroke in the postseason. 17 home runs, and first pitch, Eric Guevara jumps on a first pitch fastball. Well, if you know he's going to bring 96, you can time it up, and college hitters are better at that than they've ever been.
Comes in at 96, goes out at 103 miles an hour. Eric Guevara had a 17-game hit streak snapped in April. We know how good he is at third base. He's an all-SEC defender, but he just turns his first pitch fastball around right back up the middle.
And now Chase Fralick, who went through an 0 for 3 last night, and that 0 for ended a 5-game home run streak for the Auburn catcher, sophomore from just up the road in Peachtree City, Georgia. First pitch fastball up and away, 1-0. If you're Auburn, this is a must-win game, or your summer starts. How important is a good start?
Well, I mean, they're 18, 19-year-old kids, so they're impressionable. So any kind of run you can get early makes them feel better about themselves. Clearly a good start would help.
And Fralick sends that in the Ole Miss dugout. First off speed we've seen from Ray. Butch Thompson's team got swept in the Supers last year by Coastal Carolina. They lost a heartbreaker in game number 1 at extras, even though they hit the ball hard right at guys, and that was the same case last night. They put the ball in play, but a bunch of atom balls. 97, they say didn't go. John Brammer had the plate last night, is down the line at third. David Savage is behind the plate for this crew.
Let's take another look. Chase Fralick right at the limit. John Brammer down third base line said he didn't go.
They set an attendance record in this building last night. Well, in and out of the building, 10,121. They also count the folks who bought tickets to the parking garage, which is technically outside of the stadium. And, well, we might set another attendance record today. Three balls and a strike, and now Fralick in control.
Chase Fralick's Auburn's first Buster Posey Award nominee for Catcher of the Year. Calls his own pitches behind home plate. You mentioned the home run streak he had last week in the regional where he was the MVP. Got to be careful with this guy on a 3-1 count.
And he sends it in the air to left field and foul, and that one will find somebody because there's no empty space in this ballpark. They've just gone final after a lengthy rain delay in Morgantown. The Mountaineers advanced their first ever College World Series, a couple of blowouts. They take care of Cal Poly today. Easy for me to say, 17-1.
29 runs for West Virginia in 2 games. And you had them last week.
They're impressive.
Yeah.
That is a gritty, tough team. And one of the best pitching staffs in the Big 12. And think about it, they get out in just 2 games. They're the first one to punch their ticket. They will be well rested from an arm standpoint by the time they get to Omaha. And this guy must have been watching on the phone today. Attendance records in Morgantown, Troy, and Auburn, just to name 3 here early on in the Super Regionals. And Guevara falls back on the bag. He's not much of a threat, only 4 steals in as many attempts this year.
Taylor Rabe dropped a 3-1 off speed on Chase Fralick. So now if you're Chase, you got that in the back of your mind, but you have to be ready for a heater. So this is a tough spot to be in.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw down to second is a strike. Wow, Ole Miss turned the traffic around numerous times on Auburn last night, and a strike him out, throw him out double play to end any Auburn threat to start this one.
Taylor Rabe drops the off speed 3-1, so Chase Fralick's looking for the same pitch, gets burnt right down the middle on the fastball. Strike him out, throw him out. Ole Miss off the field in the first.
NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Tom Hartod Walker, game number 2 at Plainsman Park in Auburn, Alabama. And here's a look at this power-hitting Ole Miss team. Judd Utermark with a massive 2-run home run last night. He's the all-time home run leader, and he's close getting to the single season record as well. Back-to-back 20-plus home run seasons for head coach Mike Bianco, who was 1 win away from what would be the Rebels' 7th trip to Omaha. The last time they went was 2022. They're one of the last teams in the field, and they won the whole dang thing. Alex Petrovic getting the ball for Auburn. This very deep pitching staff, one of the best in the country.
Making his 17th start. He's missed the parts the last 2 years with injury, back in a vengeance this year. He's pitched Auburn into the 5th in 15 of his 16 starts. He has linked 2 runs or less in 10 of those starts. In the regional, game 3 versus University of Central Florida, went 6, only gave up the 2 earned runs and 6 strikeouts. It's 94 on the 4-seam. Cutter slider change. His changeup is his out pitch. Lefty's only hitting 186 off Alex Petrovic. Righty's 230.
Third-year sophomore from Cypress, Texas, out of Concordia Lutheran. Only 29.2 innings pitched over the last 2 seasons. And he starts with Dom Decker, made it to Omaha last year with Murray State. Decker 2 for 5 last night. And a first pitch strike into Decker. Junior from Sellersburg, Indiana. He has found his power now in Oxford. Double-digit home runs for Decker. And he pulls it to the right side. Rembert fields it. And 1 down as Chris Rembert handles it. Here's a look at the bracket. West Virginia punches its ticket. Over on ESPN2 right now, Troy and Little Rock doing battle. There will be a Game 3 in Chapel Hill. But a fantastic pitching performance that North Carolina got from Jason DeCaro. A complete game 2-hit shutout. And that was after Southern Cal had found its offense, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, 68 runs scored by USC in 6 games up till today. Gets shut out. What a great job by DeCaro for North Carolina. We know how good that pitching staff is. That series tied at 1.
Here's Judd Udemark, senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. 22nd home run of the season last night. Powers balanced out with the whiff. He struck out 10 times in the postseason in 4 games, but of his 4 hits, 2 of them have left the yard.
Ole Miss has struck out 649 times this year. That's most in the SEC. But they can hit it a long way as well.
Petrovic got off to a great start this season as Udemark sends a scorcher to Bingham, and Bingham and the freshman takes care of it.
Wow. We saw Will Furnace pick one in the top of the first. Pretty similar. Bingham and the freshman over there like a cat. And that's hard to do, that short hop. You got to go out with the glove and meet the baseball. He did that perfect for the second out.
So here's Furnace, who was 0 for last night. And a first pitch strike into Furnace. This is a big Ole Miss roster. 6'4", 240 for Furnace. Hitters are big, pitchers are big. Everybody. Now 0-2. Mentioned Petrovic's start. Started the season 3-0 with 3 straight starts of 5 innings or more. That was the first for an Auburn pitcher since Casey Mize in 2018 when he was drafted 1-1 by the Tigers. Furnace pops that one foul.
And we saw Will Furnace wave at a couple changeups last night. That's what Petrovic's going to go to, either this pitch or the next one. 0-2, you still have 1 look. He wanted to show him the fastball to set up the change.
And Furnace sends it right back up the middle. Guevara's got it and takes care of it. Petrovic with a thumbs up coming off the field. Just a 9-pitch inning from Alex Petrovic. Fralick all smiles. start this Super Regional Saturday. Georgia outlasts Mississippi State after being down 7 runs. Michael O'Shaughnessy off the bench for the Bulldogs. Game-winning 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th, one of his 2 home runs of the day.
Did you see that stat? When teams are behind 7 runs or more in the last 3 NCAA tournaments, they are 0 and 149 until today. Georgia down 7 through 3.5 of that game. They go home run in the bottom of the 4th with Jackson and Lujo. Score 5, come back and beat Mississippi State. 11 home runs in that game.
Wow. That was an ERA killer today.
Yes.
Chris Rembert leads off the second for Auburn. Tigers had a runner on in the first, but it didn't, ran into a inning-ending strike him out, throw him out double play. And Rembert chops one to the right side, and it gets through. Leadoff hit for the Auburn second baseman.
And that extends the hitting streak to 19 games. That's his 30th hit in those 19 games. Chris Rembert on a heater. Just finds a hole. They had him shifted to the left a little bit, and he gets a fastball. He just waits on and pops it through the right side. Leadoff base hit.
It's a young Auburn team, and that includes Ethan Bingaman, freshman from California, who was originally committed to Cal Baptist before Auburn discovered him on a couple of summer ball trips to the Southeast. Bingaman was 0 for 5 last night.
Auburn's got 4 freshmen in this lineup, 3 sophomores, and only 2 juniors, no seniors.
In for a strike. Well, the junior class was a top 10 recruiting class, 6 in the country, and it included a couple of guys that never showed up that are already in the big leagues. Colt Emerson has already been called up by the Mariners, and Kevin McGonigal is on an absolute tear for Detroit here early on, and he's already signed a big-time contract with the Tigers. They have gotten it done on the recruiting trail in recent history, and a couple of those departures in that class, a reason why this Auburn roster tilts even younger. Fouled off by Bingaman. Talking with Ethan a couple of days ago about his welcome to the SEC moment. He'd been playing elite travel ball, played for the Canes national team. In fact, he was only home for 7 days last summer. Offering misses low, and he pointed out that he had some ups and downs after turning down the Diamondbacks in the 20th round in 25. Was the number 6 rated freshman in the nation coming into this class. But then went 6 for 12 against Oklahoma with a 3 home run day. Bounces it up the middle, and it gets through past Decker, and Auburn in business once again. Todd, they had base runners galore yesterday. They just couldn't get them in with any efficiency.
Left 10 runners on base yesterday in that game, and that was the story. They did hit some bullets right at people. Had a little bad luck last night. Had the bases loaded in the second inning yesterday. Didn't score a run. Now they've got something going here again in the second inning. 2 runners on, nobody out.
So here's Bub Terrell. They really need to get his back going. They did draw a pair of walks last night. But he is just 3 for 23 in the postseason. 16 home runs overall. Second most on this Auburn roster. And Rabe gets ahead in the count.
Bub Terrell last night was pretty impressive. He was sitting on some of that off-speed, staying back. That's hard to do in these emotional games when you're overexcited at the plate. You get jumpy. But Bub Terrell took his walks. 2 walks last night, was 1 for 2, and he can hit it a long way. He's a big kid. 6'3", 240.
Hadn't seen a fastball yet, nothing in 2. Tigers had multiple runners on with nobody out twice yesterday and scored just 2 runs in those opportunities. And 3 straight off-speed pitches. Terrell goes down swinging.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Taylor Rabe. Just pulling the string on 3 straight pitches. Bub Terrell in the back of his mind has fastball at some point and just never was able to stay back. That was a nice little slider in there at 87 miles an hour. Bub Terrell right over the top of it.
Rabe 4th in the SEC, 13 Ks per 9 innings pitched. 90 strikeouts against just 10 walks this year. That is insane.
Yeah, 70% strike thrower, Taylor Rabe, on top of that high velocity fastball, and obviously has command of the off speed as well.
Second-year freshman shortstop Brandon McCrane at the plate from Salem, Alabama. And a little tapper back to Rabe. Glances to second. Throws a high fastball to first, 2 down.
That can become a thing when you get a lot of guys on and can't get them in. And for Ballou right here, you get up there putting a little too much pressure on yourself now with 2 outs, feeling like you have to get a base hit. And that's tough if you're a hitter, but as we mentioned, Auburn let a lot of guys out there last night. They've got to break through at some point.
Here's Cade Ballou. Played his high school ball just a couple of miles up the road at Auburn High School. 1 for 4 last night. Hitting .350 this postseason with 3 home runs and a double of his 7 hits. Auburn, after working its way through its home regional, losing game number 1, is averaging 9 runs a game in the postseason. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1 to the lefty.
Good spot for Taylor Rabe. Right on the inside corner, shows him the slider. And at this point at 1-1, you really don't know what you're going to get. But after this one, you have a better educated guess and you kind of work the process. But first base is open, so he doesn't have to just throw a fastball right down the middle.
Another packed house here at Plainsman Park, which has seen waves of renovations over the years. A little bit different from when you played here. There's a chain link fence and left in front of the power station, and some frat guys sitting on top of a U-Haul down the first base line.
Right above our dugout, just wearing us out. Yeah, those were my memories of playing here.
2-2. 10,000 plus paid to be here last night. Two. Swing and a miss. And Rabe mixes in the cutter to take care of Ballou. Couple of strikeouts here in the second after the first 2 reach. Auburn misses again. Time now for Working on a Win, presented by the Home Depot. Ole Miss now 4-0 in this NCAA postseason. They had to go on the road to Lincoln to win the regional, and there they got 2 walk-off extra inning wins. It was an early morning victory against Arizona State game 1 in the 14th inning, and then in the finale against Arizona State. And the bullpen, Todd, was magnificent. Only 6 earned over 21 2/3.
Yeah, pretty fantastic. Mike Bianco in his 26th year, one of 17 active coaches with 1,000 wins. And you've already mentioned it, won the national championship in 2022. The only other time they've been in Omaha under Mike Bianco, 2014.
And first pitch to Tristan Becerra has popped up and out of play. In 14, they had to go on the road to do it. They were in front of a hostile crowd in Lafayette, Louisiana. And then in 22, one of the last teams in, they spent the entire time on the road. Tim Elko was the folk hero of that one. Good enough to win a national championship, play on a torn ACL. You get a statue. And 1 down. Petrick now 11 pitches and 10 strikes. For the latest news, insight, and an in-depth analysis from the Super Regionals, visit ncaa.com.
Alex Petrovic's family, both parents played basketball in college. Sister played at Loyola University in New Orleans, so he played basketball in high school himself. So he's an athlete on the mound. He is a strike thrower. And again, part of this 4-headed monster for Auburn. The starters just so good.
Hayden Federico looks at a breaking ball for a strike. And to your point, Auburn came into this Super Regional 6th in the country in ERA, number 1 in strikeout to walk ratio, and number 2 in the country in WHIP. Federico, high school quarterback for a powerhouse program in West Monroe, Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm down the road about an hour and a half, and you know a lot about West Monroe High School from Shreveport, Louisiana. That's where Duck Dynasty was born, if you don't know or have heard of Monroe, West Monroe.
Did you ever grow a beard out?
I've been known to do that. Yeah, not like them.
No, that's one of a kind. Rembert, fantastic glove work. And there are 2 down here in the second.
And Hayden Federico can run. So for Rembert, who's deep in the grass, has to get up quickly, make an accurate throw. Good range. Right there on that play, Chris Rembert to his left. It's always a little less difficult for a second baseman to go to your left than it is to go up the middle to your right. And he was shaded over that way. Nice play. Petrovic likes it.
Here's shortstop Owen Pena. Sophomore from Poughkeepsie, New York. He was a top 25 recruit in the 24 class. And found playing time a little bit more difficult to come by early in this season, but they took on Florida earlier this year. He came in to pinch hit, went 1 for 2, and smoked a line drive. And a big walk in the Game 3 win, and that really started his season comeback. '93 tugged inside. Payne only had 1 hit in the regional, but it was a big one, and shot to the gap against Nebraska for a go-ahead run. And Rembert gets in front of this ground ball. Alex Petrovic has faced 6, and he is retired 6. We'll chat with his head coach, Butch Thompson, when we return. No score between Auburn and Ole Miss. Tom Hart with Todd Walker, happy to be joined by Butch Thompson down in the Auburn dugout. Butch, you got Alex Petrovic on the mound. So far, he looks darn good. What is the plan from a pitching perspective in this one as you try to find a game 3?
Well, he's welcome to throw the whole game if he wants to. But he's getting ground ball. You know, these guys can absolutely swing it, and we're getting the kind of contact, and that right side's already made a couple of really nice plays. And, you know, getting guys on, that's kind of the story how we started yesterday. You know, the difference in the game was two pitches we'd like to have back and 2 swings that they got there that made a difference in the ball game because we shoved it in the strike zone for the most part. But we've got to absolutely play some offense to keep up with these guys.
Yeah, but you've been through these wars so many times.
Yeah.
You went through it last week, lost the first game, won 4 in a row. Was there any message to the team after last night's game?
No, because we've been here before. A Nebraska series, at Florida series, a Mississippi State series. You know, and you bring up last week. It's like, hopefully it's a comfort zone for us, but we got to get these bats back hot, and we might have to speak it into existence before it happens because we're down to it.
Butch, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Auburn went on an incredible run late in the year in SEC play to win series after series before Georgia came here at the very end of the year. Auburn started 4 of their 10 SEC series with a loss. They came back to win 2 of those. He mentioned on the road at Florida. They also did it on the road at Mississippi State.
Yeah, they won 6 in a row, 6 series in a row under Butch Thompson. He's great. I mean, you know, he talks about, look, I'm not going to be with these kids forever. So he allows Chase Fralick to call his own pitches. The pitchers have freedom to shake and do what they want to do. And he teaches them up before they get on the field. Then they're out on their own doing their thing. And we've seen how that has worked out. Most of this team will be back next year. And Butch Thompson in his 11th season just gives them the freedom to play. And that's what I love about it.
Well, they showed a lot of trust putting Taylor Belza in the starting lineup. Freshman from Grafton, Ohio, out of St. Ignatius. And he goes down looking, but he made 5 starts in the regional, had only 1 start all season before that. 4th K now for Taylor Ray.
Yeah, in these games where it means too much, you know, you're seeing a lot of hitters just freeze up, you know, because they're a little spooked to get loose and get after it. It'll take an at-bat for Belza, who didn't play last night, to get in there and get comfortable. And just gets fooled on that one.
Back to the top of the order and Mason McCrane. Taylor Ray 1 trip through, 4 Ks and 3 hits, but they're all 3 singles. And 96 over the black for a strike to McCrane. McCrane had a monster regional. Hit 350 of his 7 hits. He had 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. He also reached base 6 times via walker hit by pitch.
Well, and they give Mason McCrane a lot of credit for that run we just talked about. 6 series wins in a row. They stuck Mason at the leadoff spot. Gabe Gross will say, you know, he takes more pitches or sees more pitches than anybody else in the lineup. The power in the Florida series, he hit 3 home runs and 10 at-bats, and he's kind of sparked this offense from the time he's been at the leadoff spot. They were worried about the slug for Auburn the first half of the year. They could death by 1,000 cuts. They had 8 300 hitters in this lineup. But the second half of the season with Mason McCrane in the lineup, started popping some homers, and they've been powerful.
Mentioned that Florida series. He was the SEC Freshman of the Week that weekend after moving to the leadoff spot in the second game. 3-1. This is what McCrane did. Gave him some life late last night with a 9th inning solo shot.
Lefty matchup in the 9th. Over the batting cages there in right field. He was the leadoff hitter in that night. They got it to 6-4. That's where it would end up. But Mason McCrane, 10 for 25 in this NCAA tournament with 2 home runs.
And McCrane sends this one to second. This is Don Decker. 2 down. And Eric Gavar coming up. Junior from Panama City, Panama, played in the States at Georgia Premier down in South Georgia. He had a couple of injury-plagued seasons before he got to this year. And that included the postseason last year. He started the first 2 games of the regional before an injury cut it short.
He was a high school shortstop, played some some shortstop here at Auburn, and then when they found Brandon McCrane, moved him over into his most comfortable spot over at third, where he is an all-SEC defender.
And that ball smoked just foul.
Game of inches, right? Look how close this comes to that left field line. It's fair when it goes over the bag. You see that as a hitter, but you also see it curling. And that's no fun. How about those seats?
Yeah, that's fun.
Right in the corner. You know they're on camera now.
John Cohen is the athletic director here, former head coach at Mississippi State and Kentucky on the baseball side, and they have sold tickets to every inch of this ballpark. Guevara fouls off 96.
1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts last night. He's behind 0-2 here. This is why this pitching matchup's so great between Taylor Rabe and Alex Petrovic. You just don't know what you're going to get in any given count. And with the high velocity fastball coming out of both these pitchers, you just basically have to guess right. And if you're wrong, you're out.
Now the 0-2. The breaking ball shot up in the air to right. Becerra running out of room against a brick wall, and that one's into the netting. They got Becerra back in right field for this one, with Braden Randall getting his second ever start in the outfield and left. And Mike Bianco flipped him yesterday due to the setting sun, with left field being the sun field here, and then flopped Randall back to left once that big green monster was in the shade.
Braden Randall was the starting shortstop to start the year on opening day, and he's an athlete out there. He made a catch last night. I always talked about just get the first one under you, and he did that. So little by little, I think he's feeling a little more comfortable out there.
Left field had been a black hole in this Ole Miss lineup. Left fielders combined for just 1 hit in the Nebraska Regional, so that's why it was necessary to find a different bat for Mike Bianco, and that was really the issue all season for this Ole Miss team. They rotated a number of guys through that spot. 26th season in Oxford and a national champion in 22.
Yeah, and Braden Randall's on a 5-game hit streak, 8 for 17, so that's why he's out and left.
Guevara working his way back into this at-bat, 2-2. Hardest pitch Taylor Rabe has thrown this season was a sinker at 99.5. He's got elite velocity. And he spins it in for strike 3 to Guevara. Home crowd thought that one was up. But the Tigers go down in order. That is the 5th strikeout now for Taylor Rabe.
Yeah, backup slider that just holds its plane right at the belt. A little bit high. Guevara thought so, but David Savage behind the plate didn't.
my fixation.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
This College World Series begins Friday. Todd, you're going to need some new golf shirts if you work in studio every day. And here's the breakdown of Super Regional winners. 55% of winners arrive via a Super Regional sweep. That number surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And then you start talking about teams that went to Game 7 this year, which was 4 of them. And of those Game 7s, only 40% win Supers. So Auburn's one of those teams.
It'll be Game 7 of the regional round.
Yes.
And Auburn lost Game 1 to fight and claw its way back through there. Austin Foley quickly sees the count even at 1-1. Foley had a couple of hits last night, 2 for 4. One of the best defensive catchers from a pitch framing standpoint in college baseball. In fact, he's second in the country behind Arkansas's Ryder Helfrich.
Austin Foley hit 21 home runs last year. That's the most in the Mike Bianco era. And holding down the catching spot, Mike Bianco told us they've got 3 catchers for coaches, so it's very difficult to be a catcher in this Ole Miss program.
They've got a great history behind the plate. As Foley can't find that one, 2-2 now. Junior from West Palm Beach, Florida, started his college career at Kentucky. Now 9 home runs over his last 18 games, just 4 over his first 36. And Foley goes down as the first strikeout victim of the game from Alex Petrovic.
He does do that also. A lot of swing and miss, but Alex Petrovic, a lot of credit right here on the off speed. Just the changeup that just drops. I mean, that's how much depth that changeup has. From up here, it looks like a curveball. And just Austin Foley sees it in one spot, goes after it, ends up below the barrel.
That's the first out recorded by Auburn that didn't come on a ground ball. And Randall shows bunt, and all of them were up the middle to the right side, including the one that Furness hit off of Petrovic's back. Junior shortstop now playing the outfield. Second start for Braden Randall in the outfield since he was playing travel ball as a 14-year-old. Both come each of the last 2 games. 2 for 3 and a couple of ribbies last night. And fooled on that one, 0-2.
Yeah, that's just a guess. That's just thinking he's going to throw a fastball and I'm swinging no matter what happens. And now Braden Randall has to tighten up, really stay back and see it. Probably eliminate the pull side, look up the middle the other way, let it travel.
Guevara into foul territory and runs out of space. So no, Auburn defense, it's been pretty good over the course of the season. But middle of the pack in the SEC, it's headlined by Guevara, who's 5th in the country defensive runs saved for a third baseman. I hope the ball didn't get dirty. Randall, the 8-hole hitter. He sends that one straight back.
So you see a lot of, Auburn's got 3 pitching coaches over there in the dugout. Butch Thompson, of course, the head coach, is a pitching guy. Everett Tieford and Scott Foxhall, who won the national championship with Mississippi State back in 2021. And you see how the pitch sequences work. So what I just said, you know, they've got Randall staying back. So then Alex Petrovic knows that. He pumps 2 fastballs in there and a third.
Back-to-back Ks for Petrovic.
And just elevates that one. No chance for Randall to catch up to that pitch. But if you're Randall, you're having to protect against the off speed, and that's when Alex Petrovic goes to work. Fastball, fastball, fastball finally gets him to bite on that one above the belt.
Here's Colin Reuter, senior from Olive Branch, Mississippi, transferred in from BYU. Was with the Cougars for 3 years, 94 games out west. Honorable mention Big 12 selection a couple of years ago. Now in his second season in Oxford. He was a hot recruit coming out of Magnolia Heights High School. Ole Miss was on him, Mississippi State, Arizona State, Arizona. He's a third-team high school All-American and the Mississippi Player of the Year. Led his team to back-to-back state championships. Petrovic trying to K the side, the 0-2 in the dirt.
Colin Reuter fed off of LJ Cormier last night in the 6th. They just put LJ in the game. First pitch goes deep, dead center on the top of the 6th. That gave Ole Miss their 5th and 6th runs, and they would hold on to win that one last night.
Into center. Ballou. Nice casual bottom of the 3rd. Petrovic, perfect one trip through the order. We'll talk with the Ole Miss head coach, Mike Bianco, after this. No score between Auburn and Ole Miss. Mike Bianco kind enough to put a headset on for us down in the Ole Miss dugout. What have you seen so far from Taylor Reid?
Oh, he's been good, but that's a good offense over there, so he's given up a couple of hits. But like we saw last night, out of Elliott, he's made some pitches that get off the field. And that's what you hope for your ace. It's not always going to be as clean like, their guy. He's been obviously 9 up, 9 down. But no, I think he's got some good stuff today.
Bio, you've been to Omaha twice as a coach. You won the national championship in 22. You've been there as a player, hit a home run. We talked about that a lot. But did you have to say anything to your team after winning game 1 last night? Like try to keep the anxiety down a little bit?
No, we didn't go there. The challenge was to continue to believe, continue to be aggressive, continue to step on the gas pedal, and they know that. I think when you get to this point, it's just going and winning a baseball game. And you talk all year about winning pitches, and that's what it comes down to is playing well. We played really well last night. We're off to a good start here. We had some really good swings, I thought, in the first 2 innings, not so much the last inning, but we just got to put some at bats together.
Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Taylor Reid on the mound has struck out 5 through 3 innings. Now he faces Auburn's best bat, Chase Freilich, and the pitch upstairs. You and Mike Bianco have a long history together.
That's right.
How old are you? Was this like in the 1800s?
I was 20.
Yeah,
that was a throwback midweek game against Tulane. We had to use the wood bats for the first time in my life. Nowadays kids get the wood bats, and that's what they practice with. I had never touched a wood bat until that game. Throwback game. They just decided to, yeah.
So Mike Bianco was a catcher at LSU after a junior college run and then came along as an assistant coach just right before you got there as a player.
Yeah, he was our third base coach in 1993 and 1994, stayed through 1997 under Skip Bertman. And I told him, we talked about that home run. So he had been to Omaha. I had not. And so he said, yeah, I got a guy, hit a home run. And I just thought that was the coolest thing to be able to hit a home run in Omaha. I thought that would be end all be all, if I could just get over there and hit one out. And so he made me actually feel a little more comfortable by going to Omaha and being in the box before I was ever there. And it made a difference.
Ball and 2 strikes to Freilich. We actually have video of Mike Bianco's home run, and he pointed something out to us. We'll get to it just as soon as the Freilich at bat ends, but he kind of said, listen, our 2 home runs weren't created the same because mine came before they moved the fences in.
Yeah, that's an old fishing stories, you know. Like, nobody really knows, so he can say what he wants. But
2-2 to Freilich, who saw his 5-game home run streak end yesterday, and now Grabe misses low. Here's what it looked like back at Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha against Miami in 1989.
which one's which? So blurry, so long ago. Can't hardly see. There's Mike Bianco going deep. 1989. Yeah, he's great.
Lost to Stanford on a walk-off grand slam in that CWS.
Gosh, we go back, how many years is that? 35 years ago. I've known Mike Bianco, his wife Cammie, and now all the sons that they have. Drew Bianco's on staff right now, director of player development. Played at LSU, transferred over after that to Baylor. Son Ben played at Louisville.
How do you get bio out of Bianco?
That's just what we always called him, and they called him other things behind his back, but that's what we No, he was fantastic. And you knew that, you know, he'd end up doing what he's doing now. Went over to McNeese for a few years and now been at Ole Miss for 26 years, the most tenured coach in the SEC.
And played for and coached under the Hall of Famer Skip Bertman. And
yeah.
Skip's name came up numerous times in our production meeting this week, not the least of which when he told us he was going to move his corner outfielders around depending on the sun. And he goes, maybe that is a Skip thing. Just finding whatever edge you can and whatever you need to win a game.
And I think he's worked out of it, but initially when he would go to the mound, you know, when he was early in his coaching career after leaving Skip Bertman, he had his mannerisms. Same walk, same, you know, what he did with his hands, you know, he kind of talked like him too. And, you know, he's got the ultimate respect for Skip, I know, and taught him a lot about where he's at now.
He's taken Ole Miss to 2 of its 6 College World Series trips, the first of which came in 1956. Freilich works a lead-off walk after being behind in the count. We've got another reservation for Omaha. Troy advances to its first ever Men's College World Series. The Sun Belt with a representative in Omaha for the 2nd straight year. Coastal came out of this Auburn Super Regional last year and made it the championship series. Troy takes down Little Rock 7-2.
Yeah, Troy, kind of like Auburn, lost the first game of that regional to Miami, came back and beat Ryder, beat Miami, and then beat Florida twice. And Florida was pretty loaded this year to win that regional and now win the Super Regional. On to Omaha.
Here's Chris Rembert. He's now extended his hit streak to 19 games. Breaks a tie with Bryson Ware for the longest hit streak by an Auburn Tiger in at least the last 5 seasons. Poked the opposite way, but flagged down by Decker, and they get the lead runner, but just barely, with Pano having a drop anchor coming across the back.
That's one way to put it. And the athleticism just to stay with that throw, because a lot of times as an infielder, you're trying to get that double play instead of letting it happen. And you see Decker trying to do the turn, makes his throw offline. Pano just gets the lead out.
And here's Ethan Bingaman. You played middle infield for a long time. What's the key if you have to turn your back to your target and picking it back up as you deliver a throw like that?
Well, you pick it up pretty quick because you practice it a lot, but I never really loved to do it. That was like my maybe 4th or 5th option down the road. I tried to position myself where if it was at me or toward the bag, it was always going to be a flip or like, what would you call it, a shuffle pass. Yeah. And I always like to do that because I felt like the shortstop can see that better. But when you're coming up throwing, man, it's going to be hot, and you better be on target or that shortstop's going to have a hard time. But the only time I would turn is if it was in that 4-hole closer to first base, which was way over.
0-1 to Bingaman. It's an Ole Miss team that's only turned 32 double plays on the season. But they turned a couple of key ones last night in both the 2nd and the 3rd innings. Now 32 double plays would rank 13th out of 16 teams in the SEC. Finds a hole on the right side. Bingaman's got his second hit of the night. Rembert motors to third. And Auburn with runners at the corners with one down.
Great hitting. Decker's in double play depth up towards second base. Ethan Bingaman just lets it travel. Again, for a hitter, the easiest way to do that is just think changeup, think off-speed tempo, and gets the fastball middle in. Doesn't do too much with it, just down to the right side where there's the big hole, and puts runners at the corners with only one out. Auburn needs to take advantage of this situation here.
What's this conversation about?
Stay under control. You're one pitch away from getting out of this inning. Make sure you keep the ball low, put it on the ground somewhere, let your fielders work. And then what's for dinner tonight?
Have you tried the cornbread at Acre? Maybe Joel Mangram's telling him about his shoe collection.
Yeah, I saw his wife Andrea this morning in the hotel, and he goes, he's got about 100 pairs of shoes. When everybody else uses the black turfs that are painted up, he's got the Air Jordans. He's got the whole team doing it. I saw Mike Bianco had some cool shoes on as well. I mean, Joel Mangrum making an impact on the pitching staff, but also with the drip.
So here's the inconsistent as of late, but always dangerous Bub Terrell. Struck out on a slider his first time up. He didn't see a fastball from Taylor Rabe, who's got a fastball in the upper 90s.
And that's what you do. You know it's coming, so you sit on it. And Bub Terrell saw that right out of the hand, doesn't even flinch. And now Taylor Rabe will throw that 96, 97 mile an hour fastball in there to show him, to get him jumpy again, and then he'll come back to the off speed. But he better put that fastball in the right spot. Bub Terrell can hit it a long way.
And he grounds this one to the right side. It speeds right past Decker. A run is in. Throw coming into the middle of the infield, and they got Terrell in a pickle. Back to the shortstop, Pano, with the lead for Bingaman at third. Terrell goes to second, and the throw home is late. Bub Terrell with a spin move between first and second, and then Bingaman took advantage.
That is all Bub Terrell right there. Seeing eye grounder through the right side, makes a wide turn, thinks he can get to second but can't. And now his job, he thinks he's going to be out, but his job is to just stay in it long enough to get that run across, and he does both. Not only does he score the run, but he makes that turn just at the right moment, makes Will Furnace away from him, throws offline, third run across for Auburn, or two. What a move by Bub Terrell.
Well, Terrell looked like he was back playing high school basketball and running suicides the way he kept going back and forth. And now Brandon McCrane and the Auburn faithful feeling good about a two-run lead. First pitch in for a strike to McCrane. Those are some of the moves they didn't make last night when they left 10 on.
Not only that, you don't practice that. When I grew up, we would go in the backyard, we'd play hot box. That's what we would do, but you don't practice that move. So it's all Bub Terrell right there.
Nothing in two down to McCrane. This is the fourth hit of the postseason for Terrell. He gets 11 strikeouts and 25 at bats. It's an RBI single, and you're scoring at home. Bingaman was able to come home on the throw. What about the execution defensively for Ole Miss in that rundown?
Well, you have to go after the runner, right? But you're keeping an eye on the runner at third, and it was just perfect timing. When the ball was released to Will Furnace is when the runner took off, Ethan Bingaman, and just perfect timing. Bingaman can run, and Will Furnace hurried it. Wasn't a bad throw, but just enough offline, and a nice slide by Bingaman at home plate. I don't know there's much you can do except give up on the runner at third and get after Bub Terrell, but you're not going to do that because you don't want him to score.
One and two to McCrane. Grounded out back to Rabe in the second. And Rabe will track this one down with a bare hand. And in time to take care of McCrane, Terrell advances to third.
It would take that big time arm from Taylor Rabe to make that play. Bare hands it too, so he saves himself a little bit of time and just a rifle over to first base to get Brandon McCrane. Watch this. Jumps off the mound, bare hands it, and just a bullet over to first for the second out. If you hurry that one up, meaning you think you got to be quick enough to throw it, you're going to drop that baseball. So nice job by Taylor Rabe just keeping his concentration to catch it first and then make an accurate throw.
Here's the 8-hole hitter, Cade Ballou. Auburn had a lot of offense in the regional. 13 times in the regional they put a crooked number on the scoreboard, but this is their first multi-run inning in the Super. But Thompson talked about that regional win having to come from behind. He said it was the toughest, most rewarding regional he's been a part of. And the bunts popped up. And that will close the Auburn fourth. But Todd Bub Terrell with an RBI single. Then he created some chaos on the base paths.
Made a little bit of mistake, but what a great move right there at the moment when Bingham's scoring. Bub Terrell is fired up.
Here's what's at stake. Ole Miss with a win tonight, or we'll come back for game 3. We'll be in its 7th Men's College World Series, and Auburn needs to win here to force the winner-take-all tomorrow. Their third ever visit for the Ole Miss Rebels came in 1969. They had a shortstop by the name of Archie Manning on that team. Archie had already been drafted out of high school by the Braves, and then turned out football was a pretty good move for Archie.
Peyton Manning came and took infield with us when I was at the Rockies. We had Todd Helton, of course, that was the connection for the University of Tennessee. And you would think Peyton would have this rifle of an arm, but he spun it. You know, so a lot of quarterbacks you see throw a baseball, they have that spin, so it's a little underwhelming.
Beautiful stop, and the throw over by McCrane to take care of Decker. ESPN is the home of MLB.tv. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLB.tv. Did you tell Peyton you were underwhelmed?
No, I would never tell him that. I would never say that in public.
Yeah,
Fantastic quarterback. I mean, it was a star moment. You know, it was really cool to be around him. The very brief times I've been around him, super nice.
Here's Judd Utermark. Of course, he took over for Helton at quarterback at Tennessee when he was just a freshman a few games into that year. The legendary story is that Helton was on the football practice field when they had open tryouts for some walk-ons in Knoxville. And there was a graduate assistant throwing BP. Well, this guy walked up and took a couple of hacks and just started hitting bomb after bomb, to which he hurriedly ran into the coach's office and says, "I think we found a dude." And head coach comes running out and goes, "Yeah, that's our first baseman and closer. We already know about him. He's just playing football right now." Helton hadn't told the guy.
Pretty good major leaguer.
Utermark scorched one to first base and was out on a ground out to Bingaman. They say he went. Oh, pardon me, he didn't. 3-1. Petrovic has been efficient. He's gotten 6 outs on 3 pitches or fewer. First 3-ball count, and results in his first walk of the game and the first base runner for Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's rare from Petrovic, trying to get some swing and misses, dancing around the zone, can't do it. Got the first out on Dom Decker. Now he's got to go through 3, 4, 5 in this Ole Miss lineup. Important shutdown inning. You know, you score 2 in the top, you want to shut them down in the bottom, keep the momentum on your side.
Here's Furness. He had a comebacker that glanced off of Petrovic's back to end the first inning and carried over to Guevara at third. Fooled him on the changeup. Furness is hitting about 130 points higher against righties and lefties over the course of the season. And misses low that time. It's on top of War Eagle wall. They just put those seats in a couple of seasons ago to mimic even further the Green Monster in Boston. Beautiful view.
Well, those are the first people they let in the stadium, and we watched them as we're sitting here just run to get those spots.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. There are a couple of Ole Miss bullpen pitchers, relief pitchers are on top of the wall to help Shag, and then all of a sudden they are surrounded by, like, I don't know, 200 of their closest friends.
Yeah.
Beer Can Jenkins up there. 1-2 to Furness. Another off-speed pitch rolled over to Rembert to second for 1, on to first, and a 4-6-3 double play. Petrovic has faced the minimum through 4.
Will Furness has been jumping at that changeup for 2 days now and gets out in front right to Rembert. Pretty picture perfect. 4-6-3 with McCrane. Watch this. It's nice and easy, smooth around the horn. There's your answer. No runs for Ole Miss in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Alex Petrovic has held Ole Miss hitless through 4 innings for the first time this season. We've got a great pitcher's duel tonight.
Yeah, Alex Petrovic, he averages about a strikeout an inning. So 87 innings, 87 strikeouts, only has 2 tonight in the 4 innings. And again, Ole Miss is a big swing and miss team, but he has avoided the home run so far.
Hard throwing Taylor Rabe struck out Taylor Belza to start the 3rd inning. And a visit from Austin Fowler. Well, Taylor Belza was all smiles around the cage when we were out of practice a couple of days ago. True freshman from Grafton, Ohio. Played his high school ball at football powerhouse St. Ignatius. He only had 1 start before the regional. And then rolled out with 5 starts in the Lincoln Regional and had 5 hits.
Six hits in his last 6 games with 8 runs.
First pitch to Belza. What an opportunity to be playing your best baseball and take advantage of getting in the lineup.
Yeah, you know what I love about this time of year is you play for yourself. I mean, if you're being honest, during the course of the year, you're trying to put up numbers, do your thing. This time of year, that goes away. You're playing for the team. Everything's about the team. You don't care where you hit in the lineup. You really don't even, you know, you want to start, but you're pulling for the group. And I always love this time of year because all the selfishness goes away, or it should. And at this point, all you care about is wins.
How different is that than your average big league day at the ballpark?
No, I mean, it's all about, you know, it's an individual sport. You know, it's a team deal.
That is a fair ball right over the bag, and Furness takes care of it.
It's a team deal played by a bunch of individuals. So you're clearly trying to get your numbers, trying to do your thing, and you know, you play 162 games at the big level, so you can't get upset about wins and losses at that point. But even at that level or in the college level, when you get to the postseason, it's all about the group, and you truly don't really care about yourself. You care about what other people do, and it should be that way all the time, but it's definitely that way this time of year.
Here's Mason McCrane. He is 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Both to the right side, one to Furness, one to Decker. And Decker can't reach this one. 1 out single for Mason McCrane. And it gets by the right fielder, and McCrane goes into second. An extra 90 for Mason McCrane.
Yeah, he can move. 3 for 4 last night. 0 for 2 coming into that at bat. Base hit right up the middle. And that's a big extra 90 to get into scoring position going through the middle of this order. 2, 3, 4 coming up from Auburn. Right down the middle. And the only thing that kept Mason McCrane off of that one is he was looking off speed. Pops it up the middle. Gets to second base. Nice job.
It's a double for McCrane. And now Eric Guevara, the 2-hole hitter. Spins in for a strike, 0-1. Deep dive into the numbers, in Auburn over the course of the season, which is a good stolen base team, has not been a great team when it comes to taking extra 90, whether it's straight base running or the batter getting an extra base.
Ole Miss on the other side has been the best in the super regional teams of doing that. First to third, second to home, taking the extra base.
You wouldn't think Ole Miss really needs it with the raw power that the Rebels have. As Guevara fouls that one off. Guevara's played on the Panamanian national team. He had a torn ACL coming into Auburn. Didn't play the first portion of the 24 season due to that knee injury. And he goes down swinging on 3 straight. 6 Ks now for Rabe.
Taylor Rabe is coming up with pitches when he needs them the most. Auburn in the second inning was threatening, gets out of it. Did give up the 2 runs in the 4th on the base hit by Bub Terrell, which was just a seeing eye through the right side, but now comes back in trouble again and strikes out Eric Guevara for the 2nd out.
Now it's up to Fralick to keep the inning going. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. And first pitch 95 is up in the zone.
Yeah, and you're not going to intentionally walk him, but I don't know that this is a scenario where they want to pitch to this guy. First base is open. You do have 2 outs.
Program record, 5 home runs and 15 RBIs in the regional, where he was named most outstanding player. So
they're
fastball up.
Yeah, so they're going to try to get him to swing and miss on something, but if he stays patient, they're going to walk him.
You got Rember waiting on deck.
Yeah, that's not much easier, but at least it's the righty-righty matchup.
Last weekend, over the regional round, Fralick hit more home runs than 35 teams in the field, and he drove in more runs than 21 teams.
And I always felt like this situation freed up the pitcher to throw quality pitches. Saw the 2-0 right on the corner because he doesn't care if he walks him. That was right down the middle. He got away with that one. And this becomes the chess game. Chase Fralick thinks they might be walking him, and so you're not ready for the dead red fastball.
Go back to the high fastball here if you're Rabe.
Some sort of swing and miss pitch. He definitely didn't mean to split the plate on that one. So some off speed out of the zone. Maybe he gets a chase at 3-2 and he's looking fastball. You get the off speed again.
And he fouls another one off. Fralick, through 3 at bats, has already seen 22 pitches from Taylor Rabe. Rabe started him off with a couple of 4-seamers up and out of the strike zone. McCrane, the runner at second. Here's the 2-2. Pulled to the right side, and Furness takes it to the bag. Well, runs a hit. Another runner left on. But it's a 2-0 Auburn lead. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Sold out Plainsman Park in Auburn, Alabama. Tom Hart alongside Todd Walker, a fantastic crew with you for Game 2 of this best-of-3 Super Regional. Visiting Rebels from Ole Miss took game number 1 6-4 last night. Walker Hooks was magnificent out of the bullpen to get the last 6 outs of the game. He would be available out of the pen tonight.
Alex Petrovic has now taken Auburn into the 5th, 16 of his 17 starts. And that's what you love about this kid, just able to pace himself mix pitches well, get through the lineup 3 or 4 times.
Here's Tristan Becerra. Of note, Ole Miss is the home team on the scoreboard here, game 2 of 3 here at Auburn's Park. And if there is a game 3, they'll flip it back, and Auburn will be the home team and bat last tomorrow. Becerra was a big threat over the course of the season. Team high 22 home runs, but he has really labored in the postseason, just 2 for 18. Now, granted, his 2 hits left the yard, but he is the poster child for this Ole Miss offense. A lot of pop and a lot of whiff at the same time.
Yeah, first 3 years at Clemson, only hit 10 home runs total there. He did have 9 home runs in SEC play this year in 30 games. And 22 home runs on the year. He can change the game with one swing, and this is the guy they want to face with nobody on for sure.
He had 9 home runs against SEC pitching, but a sub-200 ERA. And that's only 9 of 22. Three and 1. He's more than doubled his home run total over 3 seasons at Clemson. Injured, didn't finish the season before he came over. His final year with the Tigers. And he's able to draw a 5-pitch walk. Second walk in the last 3 batters by Alex Petrovic.
Yeah, Tristan Becerra 0 for 4 last night with a strikeout. 0 for 5 considering his first at bat, and Petrovic trying to get a swing and miss. Tristan Becerra doesn't bite, and lead off walk.
So here's Hayden Federico. And Chase Fralick wants to go have a word with Petrovic. Command has started to leak here. Second trip through the order.
Yeah, that fastball was 91. Velocity's losing a little bit of pop. But ultimately, the mound visit is about getting ahead of the hitters. And whether it's the curveball, changeup, fastball, whatever it is, land the first pitch for a strike. Get behind these guys, and they can hurt you.
He started 9 of 12 first pitch strikes, but he has misfired on the first of each of the last 2 batters. Deep breath for Federico. Last year as a freshman, Federico was the regular DH. Overall made 48 starts for this Ole Miss team. Valedictorian of his high school class, threw for 3,000 yards as a quarterback and 36 touchdowns. Ran for another 18 touchdowns. And he rips this one into right field. Becerra around second, scooped up by McCrane. And the Rebels in business, runners at the corners with nobody down.
There's your point about Mason McCrane in right field. Now they're in a rundown.
And Jason Federico back to the bag, and they got him.
That's big.
It all started with a strong throw back in a hurry from McCrane. And Federico runs into an out.
So that was going to be my point. Mason McCrane holds him to a single, gets it in quickly. And Brandon McCrane, the brother, grabs it, looks away, and I don't know what Federico saw. Nobody was covering the bag, then thinks differently about it, and by then he's in trouble. That's a big out for Auburn.
Petrovic appreciates it. Here's Owen Pano now. Instead of runners at the corners and nobody out, Becerra is the lone runner on down at third. Starts him off with a breaking ball for strike 1. On the Auburn side, in the fourth inning, Bub Terrell took a wide turn from first, got in a rundown, and not only did he end up safe at second, but they're able to push a run across. No such luck for Ole Miss here in the fifth. One and two. Got him. Two down.
Another huge out. I mean, two of the biggest outs Auburn has had in the year have come in this inning. First, they cut down Hayden Federico, and now with a guy on third and less than 2 outs for a hitter, you just want to put the ball in play. And Alex Petrovic elevates the fastball and gets a bite from Owen Pano for the second out.
Here's Austin Foley, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Foley started his college career with the Kentucky Wildcats. His first collegiate hit was a home run. Only appeared in 10 games for Kentucky. The breaking ball covers the outside third, 0-2. And they're on their feet here at Plainsman Park. And Petrovic slams the door. Three more supers to get started, including Oklahoma at Kansas later tonight on E1, Texas and Oregon. And how about the Johnnies? St. John's had a perfectly cromulent season, and here they are 2 wins away from Omaha. They'll be in action up the road in Tuscaloosa, 9 Eastern on E2. On the other side of the bracket, we've already got 2 reservations for Omaha. Mountaineers and Trojans will be attending for the first time. We'll get a Game 3 in Chapel Hill tomorrow. And there we are with Ole Miss 1 win away. Chris Rembert leads off the 6th for Auburn. Rembert 1 for 2 with a run scored today. And he fouls the first one off.
Played really good defensively. And, you know, one side affects the other. Now, you always wanted to have a great first at bat, so you take it out on defense or the other way around. Remember, it's been all over the place on the right side of the infield.
when you were busier as a fielder, did that help you at the plate?
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, that's why I never liked to DH, because you felt out of the game. But when you get in the game, especially on the infield, and you're moving around and throwing it around, it just made you feel part of it. And I do think that, you know, what you do defensively affects you at the plate, and that's just too good. That's 96 up and away to Chris Rembert. It's a big first out. Chris Rembert's been on a 19-game hit streak.
Mariners and Orioles this Thursday, 7 Eastern. Catch it on ESPN. You can also stream the game on the ESPN app. 14 homers over the last 5 games for Seattle. 8 different players have gone yard. They've found their stroke. Bingaman looks at a strike. We're talking about Bingaman's 3-home run game against Oklahoma. Those 3 home runs were the first 3 that he hit at this ballpark. And his family was here, but they had a flight to catch out of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport about 90 minutes away in Atlanta. So they saw the first one, and he saw him going around the bases to Utemark. But when he hit the second, he looked up in the stands, and they were long gone. They had to drop dead time to try and get to the airport. They watched the second one in the car and finally got to the airport. When he hit his third, his dad turned to his mom and said, maybe we can change our flight and go back. 2 down for Bub Terrell. Couple of walks last night, 1 for 2 today with an RBI single. Braves losing just a little bit of velocity, 94 on that sinker, 0-1 now to Terrell as Rabe nears the 90 pitch mark. 90 strikeouts in 63 innings coming into today. And really a part-time starter. This is only a 10th start.
Yeah, again, first in the SEC in the 30-game schedule. Strikeouts per 9. He's got 13.7. I mean, just impressive swing and miss rate for Taylor Rabe, who showed Bub the fastball. Now let's see if he just goes to work on all the off-speed.
And there it is, 1-2.
Fastball away in a perfect spot, then change up. And Bub Terrell swings over the top of it. He knows that's how he's going to get him out. And as a hitter, that's what you start thinking. All right, how is he going to get me to strike out? And that's going to be the changeup. You got to sit back and sit on that and react to everything else.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. A couple of Ks this inning for Rabe. It's a 9-pitch inning. 8 of them were strikes. And he has 8 Ks through 6. Georgia knocked off Mississippi State. West Virginia headed to Omaha for the first time. And Jason DeCaro, a complete game shutout against the Trojans, to force a decisive Game 3 tomorrow. what a performance by DeCaro. He's the first Tar Heel pitcher to throw a shutout in the NCAA tournament since Kent Emanuel in the 2011 College World Series against Texas. 9 innings, 2 hits, a walk against 8 strikeouts, and 1 hit batter. He threw 117 pitches in the CG.
Yeah, we know North Carolina's good. The pitching staff's what's going to get them to Omaha. How about Georgia and Mississippi State in that game? 13-12, 25 runs. Georgia down by 7 in that game. Teams were 0 and 149 in 3 NCAA tournaments over the last 3 years. Trying to come back from 7 runs down. Georgia does it today without Trey Phelps, who was suspended from the regional, and he'll be back tomorrow.
Well, maybe, because the guy who took his place, Michael O'Shaughnessy, went yard twice, tied the game with a home run in the 5th, and won it with a home run in the bottom of the 8th.
So you think they're going to sit Trey Phelps?
Well, no. However, Wes Johnson has such a deep lineup that he can play matchups with just about anybody out there.
He does.
And they do as good a job as anybody of using the analytics to find the best matchup.
They had 3 different guys hit 2 home runs today in that game. I mean, just incredible. Georgia had 2, Mississippi State with 1. 11 home runs total.
2-1 to Braden Randall. Randall struck out on a fastball his last time up, and that one flagged down by Rembert. Off balance throw is wide, and Randall reaches on a single to start the 6th.
Yeah, Rembert's showing off on that right side. I think he had a little more time, but once you hit that grass, you're going to slide a little more. And he just wasn't able to get a grip on the baseball. But you're closer to the bag, moving to your left as a second baseman. And I think once he gloved it, if he comes up and gets his feet up under him, that would have been pretty special if he made that play. I think Randall might have beat him anyway, but good stop.
Petrovic was perfect first time through the order. Now the second time, a couple of walks and 2 singles. Here's a 9-hole hitter, Colin Reuter. Ooh, just missed inside. Over the course of the season, Petrovic has actually been better second time through the order than the first. One and one.
It's a great pitch, not only because it's a strike, but because if Reuter goes after it, that's a ground ball. And that's what Petrovic's going after right there, keeping it low, trying to get him to beat it in the ground for a double play.
Petrovic pitched in the regional against UCF in a 9-3 win. He threw 108 pitches. Was tagged for a pair of home runs. Auburn had to go through the losers bracket after dropping game 1 to Milwaukee. It's a career high 108. Talked to Butch Thompson earlier this game, and he said, hey, if Alex wants to go the distance, we'll let him. But in a must-win for Auburn, you would think that if there's any trouble, they would go to any of those bullpen arms, or maybe tomorrow's starter.
Yeah, Jackson Sanders still out there, Marciano.
They really
got plenty
have 4
of
starters.
options. Yeah, plenty of options.
Sanders was in the rotation to begin the season, and he's been magnificent in relief. Fouled off. And there's the conundrum, right, of you managing a staff. Tomorrow doesn't matter if you win today, yet once again, tomorrow would turn into a winner-take-all. One of the best pitching staffs in the country. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. K number 5 for Petrovic.
That's just nasty. And that was set up by the fastball on the first pitch he threw middle in. Even though it was a ball, Colin Reuter remembers that pitch. And then with 2 strikes, he comes back to it. Looks like the fastball middle in and just drops off the table. And that's why you go after a pitch like that. You don't want to get burned on that fastball middle in. Great pitch sequence from Alex Petrovic.
Here's Dom Decker. He's been the everyday second baseman in his first year in Oxford. And a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Decker punched Ole Miss's ticket to the Supers with a walk-off sac fly in the bottom of the 10th to win the regional. We're talking with Mike Bianco. His many years in the SEC, he was really impressed with the home crowd in Lincoln, Nebraska. He said it was an SEC field, double-decker stadium, fans right on top of you. Ole Miss had a pair of extra inning wins, and Decker hit by the pitch and crumples.
Yeah, that catch him on the knee. Look at his left knee right there. Wow.
Busted open the strawberry.
Yeah, and that's not where it hit, but it's just Dom Decker's just get beat up. That's most likely on some sort of slide. Speaking of slide, here's a slider. Yeah, it hit him low in the ankle. Yeah, he can walk that off. Oh. Still never feels good. A lot of bones exposed when you're facing a pitcher as a hitter, and that's why you see all the armor on these hitters nowadays.
Well, the bloody knee now matches the red jersey for Ole Miss. Kind of looks like a spring training game out there, color versus color jersey.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let him do it. You know, that'd be a situation as an infielder where you're trying to throw a ball to a bag and the colors kind of get blurred. Seen that happen before. You know, with a runner standing at third, you think it's your guy, you throw it there, and it's not.
Everett Teaford. Teaford pitched in the big leagues for the Rays and Royals, and then spent a little time overseas pitching in KBO. And there's action down the bullpen. That's Jackson Sanders, we told you about a little while ago. Well, Butch Thompson decided to hire Everett Teaford. He wanted to bring a guy in from the professional ranks who had a great feel for the analytics. Came to Auburn from the White Sox. And was hired here in 23. First time for Ole Miss with multiple runners on. Judd Udemark, home run threat, home run swing. Big whiff to start this at bat.
And he just challenges him. Middle in, Judd Udemark not necessarily looking for that pitch, and that's why he swung through it. But if he was, wow. That was gutsy by Alex Petrovic. But now you see Alex Petrovic specifically going fastballs middle in to set up his changeup, because that's his out pitch. It's 40% swing and miss on that one when it's set up.
And Udemark sends it to the gap in right center field. They won't get there in time, and one hops the wall. Randall home. They wave Decker around third, and it's a two-run double for Judd Udemark. We got a brand new ball game.
It's almost like Judd Udemark baits pitchers. Like he'll take this massive swing at a pitch and you know, not look like he's ever going to hit it. And then that slider, he stays back perfectly, lets it travel, and hits it in the backside gap. I mean, just a perfect swing by Judd Udemark after waving at the first fastball he saw. Drives in the gap, puts Ole Miss back in this game, tied at 2.
And the Ole Miss fans finally with something to cheer about. The hit by pitch comes home to roost as Decker scores the second run of the inning. It'll be the end of the line for Petrovic as he starts his third time through the order and lasts just 2 batters into that. Sanders will come out of the Auburn bullpen with this game tied at 2. Petrovic goes for 73 pitches, 5 1/3. But he won't find the win. He leaves with his game tied at 2, and he hands it off to Jackson Sanders.
Best left-handed pitcher out of Alabama, 2024. Low 90s fastball with the 4-seam, but his primary pitch is the cutter. 81 to 85, uses about 55% of the time, up to 2,700 spin rate on his breakers, the cutter and the slider. What that means is same pitch and the same velocity ends up in a different location. Cutters to left-handers hit 240 off him. He's about to face 2 of the next 3 hitters left-handed. Right-handers only 191.
5-1 on the year. He was in the rotation early in the season, which Thompson made a shuffle, and Sanders accepted the role and said, let's go win some games. Sanders produces a lot of whiff, 19th in the country at 36%. And a slider for strike 1, or was that the cutter to Furness? Here's a look at his pitch usage.
Yeah, that cutter almost 52% of the time.
Furness pops it up. Guevara foul territory, calls everybody off and makes a catch against the bricks. 2 down.
Working through the middle of this order, Will Furness pops it up for the second out. Another left-handed hitter, Tristan Becerra, coming up.
Sanders third in the SEC with an ERA of 2.63. Top 10 in the country's best league in batting average against, OPS against, and swing and miss. And a first pitch strike once again, this time to Becerra.
Right, you see that arm slot that Jackson Sanders pitching out of. That's tough because if you're Becerra, he's letting it go behind you. And you really got to stay in there because just that look makes you jumpy and want to get the barrel out in front.
Hot shot, flagged down by Bingaman. And that'll close the home half of the 6th, but not before Judd Udemark does what he does. 2-run double, and we are tied at 2 through 6. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. On to the 7th, tied at 2. Alex Petrovic went 5 1/3. Bub Terrell with an RBI single, ended up scoring 2 in the 4th. Taylor Rabe is an out away from his career high in innings pitched. And Ole Miss didn't get a runner on the first 10 guys who came to the plate. For a Judd Udemark walk, and then he cashed in with a 2-run double. Bottom third of the order now for Auburn in the 7th. McCrane, Ballou, and Belza. Brandon McCrane 0 for 2. A couple of groundouts back to the mound. Back-to-back fastballs, 0-2.
A lot of times that pitcher will get out there and shake 2 or 3 times. So as a hitter, you think it's something off speed, and then he just burns you with a fastball. Nice job right there. 0-1 coming back with the same pitch. He hasn't doubled up too much today.
McCrane has labored through the postseason, just 2 for 20. Began the year at second base and got a tryout over at third. Finally took over at short first week of March. And he sends a line drive to left. That is into the glove of Braden Randall, playing the outfield for just the 2nd time in his college career.
He looked like a veteran right there. Just came back casually, makes the catch, gets in position. And Randall out there has now made 2 plays in his college career.
A sigh of relief, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
One down, Cade Ballou coming up. Some nervous moments here on the Plains. Auburn needs a win to force a game 3. Chopper to short. Pano. 2 down, and Rabe has settled into a rhythm here as he approaches 100 pitches.
Well, especially when they start swinging early in counts. Taylor Rabe is loving that. Keep him out there a little longer. 2 quick outs here.
Here's Taylor Belza. 4th straight game with 8+ Ks for Rabe. Longest streak in season by a Rebel pitcher this decade.
And you've got to take here.
And the freshman does that, sees a breaking ball.
Yeah, you got to make him work a little bit with 2 outs.
And Rabe pulls this one foul.
Rabe made him pull it foul. Coming out of the stadium.
Was that pitch selection or location?
The location, plus, you know, if you're Belza right there, I mean, sitting middle in fastball, that's the only way you get the hands out on that one.
99th pitch from Rabe. Belza was a star baseball player at St. Ignatius in Cleveland, then went down to Florida P-27 Academy. Had to leave behind his dog Zeke to go away for his final year of high school baseball. 2-2.
Yeah, catcher by trade. Only a freshman, like you mentioned. #1 high school player out of Ohio last year.
For Rabe, this is the 3rd game of his career past the century mark, and Third time in the last 4 games. He threw 106 against A&M at the SEC tournament and 113 against Nebraska last weekend.
Ole Miss is a good position in the bullpen too. J.P. Robertson down there, Will Libbert. There are a few options as well, but Taylor Rabe has given them what they wanted today with the length.
And then we'll see hooks back-to-back days if Ole Miss can find the lead. Here's the payoff to Belza, and he chunks this one to the first base dugout.
Yeah, and he kind of knew that was coming. He had the timing was right. He just got on top of it. So now you got to go, if you're Taylor Rabe, got to go to something else, which you would think would be the fastball right at the belt. Outer half.
Again, the payoff. And he rockets it deep to right field, and it ends up in the glove of Becerra. That took everybody in a wild ride. Rabe has retired 8 straight. Ole Miss coming to the plate after the stretch.
He was all over the one right before that, and then got topspin just enough to keep it in the park. Taylor Rabe survives the 7th. And we're still tied at 2. Watch this pitch. Right out over the plate. Taylor Belza, just enough topspin. And Auburn has hit some balls right at people the last 2 days. Nothing to show for it.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Ole Miss has a little bit of room, leading the series 1-0. Looking for their 7th trip to Omaha, and last time coming when they won it all in 22. And Auburn needs a win to keep this thing going. Nothing in 1 to Hayden Federico. Federico had a base hit his last time up, but was thrown out after a wide turn of first.
Jackson Sanders in the regional last week went 7 1/3. Only gave up 2 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. And lefty-righty matchup doesn't matter. He gives them length out of the bullpen and can get a lot of guys to chase.
1-2 now to Federico. Ole Miss won game 1 yesterday for the 5th time, starting the Supers with a victory. Only made it to Omaha 1 of the previous 4 times. Busy couple weeks here on the Plains. Argentina and Iceland are going to be playing over Jordan Hare a couple days from now. Sold 80,000 plus tickets for that one in a World Cup warm-up. Federico hit by pitch to start the 7th. And Auburn men's golf team just won a national championship. They took the stage to karaoke "We Are the Champions" last night, I'm told. There's Jordan Hare. Decker was hit by a pitch in the 6th. He came around to score. And now Federico plunked to start the 7th. Making sure Federico is okay. He took an extra jog. Chatting with Chris Cleary. Looks like he wants to run the bases with him. Leadoff man on for the 3rd consecutive inning for Ole Miss. In for a strike to Pano, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. At the knees. Didn't go.
John Brammer all over that. Take a look at the swing again. That's some strong wrist to keep that barrel back. You can bet Jackson Sanders going back to that pitch.
Out of play. Sanders went 71 pitches against Milwaukee last time out. It was one of 2 appearances in the regional round. And a whiff for strike 3 on Pano. Saturday, 8 Eastern, Stanley Cup Final continues on ABC. Game 3 between the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights. Hurricanes were 12-1 through the postseason before Tuesday's loss to Vegas. They're looking for their first Stanley Cup since '06. Golden Knights are looking for their second in just 4 years. And a whole lot of hockey jerseys on the Plains, but representing her squad. Here's the catcher, Austin Foley.
185 against left-handed pitching. 3 of his 13 home runs.
First appearance against Sanders. Foley struck him out swinging both times.
Makes you wonder what we ever did without nets, right? That foul ball would have hit somebody square in the face, and they don't pay attention.
But our camera guy, Mitchell, glad you're okay. Thumbs up.
He's on top of it. He just reach up with his left hand, grab it.
Upstairs, 1-2. Sanders with the shake. The 1-2 to Foley. Oh, and he hit him. Second hit batter this inning. In the bottom of the order, getting it done for Ole Miss.
Or Jackson Sanders allowing him to get it done. He's pretty accurate. Only 1 walk in every 3 innings for Jackson Sanders. He has hit 6 guys coming into today in those 68 innings, but 2 in this inning. And that is not what Butch Thompson was hoping for. 3 passes late in this game and a tie.
Mike Bianco made the move to get Braden Randall in the lineup by plugging him into left field, and Randall paid off that move with a couple of hits and 2 RBI last night. Rebels taking the plunks. It's a 3rd hit batter in the last 6 to the plate. 1 by Petrovic, 2 by Sanders. Home crowd sitting on pins and needles. 0-2.
Braden Randall in his 5-game hit streak has 8 hits. They're all singles, but his 3 home runs have all come off left-handed pitching this year.
Swing and a miss. 2nd K for Sanders.
That's a way to work out of trouble. Just a first pitch fastball, just upset it himself for hitting 2 guys, and then comes back with the sliders. 2 in a row. Braden Randall, no shot. 2nd out, he needs 1 more.
Sanders walking a tightrope here in a tie game. Nine-hole hitter Colin Reuter, 0 for 2 today. Starts him off with a slider, 0-1. Back to it. Federico, the runner at 2nd, Foley at 1st. Got him swinging. High wire act by Jackson Sanders. He hits 2, but he Ks 3. And through 7, we're tied at 2 with the top of the order coming up for Auburn.
How about Jackson Sanders? Let's go. Kid. Slider, slider, slider. That in a better spot for the swing and miss. Runs through the lineup. Colin Reuter, the 9 spot, goes down. Auburn.
Taylor Rabe gave Ole Miss 7 innings, longest outing by a Rebel pitcher this season. And after 104 pitches and 8 Ks, his day is done.
Pretty good outing for Taylor Rabe, exactly what Ole Miss needed. 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, and just the length saves the bullpen. But now they turn it over to J.P. Robertson, the redshirt sophomore, 6 foot, 190. He's got 100 in his back pocket, 100 mile an hour on the four seam. Slider change up to left-handers. More slider curveball to right-handers. And that curveball gets a lot of swing and misses.
He'll start Mason McCrane to start off the inning. You know, Mike Bianco wanted to get Tristan Becerra in left field when they became a Sun field, because Braden Randall doesn't have many starts under his belt. Now, as this game gets longer and the sun starts to dip, left field turns into a Sun field. And Randall is out in left, shielding his eyes and playing with his sunglasses. And the first pitch has popped up that direction. Here comes Randall racing in. The shortstop McCrane back, or pardon me, Pano, and he takes care of it.
One pitch, one out. J.P. Robertson gets Mason McCrane to get after it. Yeah, that's a white sky starting to take on the color of the baseball, and that's what you start to worry about this time of day, is if it loses in the sky.
Are you surprised that he hasn't flipped Becerra and Randall?
A little surprised, because that's what he told us he would do, although he thought, you know, right field would be the issue. You got some shade in right. And Becerra out there, the veteran. You got Randall in left, who's looked good in left field, but again, only a second start out there.
First pitch breaking ball to Eric Guevara. 13 home runs and 55 driven in. He has struck out on each of his last 2 plate appearances.
You know, remember those fans last night? We were walking away saying that Brandon McCrane had a strobe light on his hat.
Yeah,
that's the glasses reflection.
I think they were overserved.
He has strobe lights at shortstop.
That's illegal. That's Pano, and you can wear all the sunglasses you want on the top of your hat. Not sure they do much good up there, though. 3-1 to Guevara. Off the end of the bat, Guevara hustling down the line, and Robertson covers it. Well, if last night's attendance record wasn't enough, why not squeeze in a few more? And it's now a new attendance record here at the ballpark, where they count the attendance in the parking garage, because those are at least spots sold, if not tickets sold. And you see they have a jumbotron set up in that corner so they can see it a little bit better.
Well, it's a credit to Butch Thompson, what he's done in his 11 years here and what he's built with this program. Hal Baird did a fantastic job.
Who do you think are the 8 people that showed up tonight that didn't show up last night?
Probably the ones that got overserved, gave their tickets away. The Ole Miss fans.
Visit to the mound and chat with Robertson. This comes with Chase Fralick due up.
Yeah, you just got to be careful with Chase Fralick. I mean, it's a tie ball game late. You got to make sure you got everything lined up on how you're going to attack this guy, because he can lose it in a hurry.
Finally, David Savage goes out there to break up the powwow. '20 home run season for the Auburn catcher Chase Fralick. And Fralick pulls the first foul. Home run total at the catching position is the most for an Auburn catcher since 1999, when All-American Casey Dunn hit 16. Butch Thompson was talking about the importance of the position. He said the 9 World Series I've been a part of, they've all been catching strong. Heard the comp earlier this season from a scout that Frelick's got some Brian McCann in it.
See that? 3 fly balls last night, 0 for 3 with that deep fly ball to center field. Got the ground ball to first with a walk and strikeout today.
Robertson misses low, 2-1. What's Frelick looking for here in a hitter's count?
I'm looking off speed. I don't think there's any way that J.P. Robertson, although he's got that velocity on the fastball, is going to try to challenge him. So if I'm Frelick right here, I'm sitting back on off speed.
Against another catcher, Daniel Jackson of Georgia, his hardest pitch of the year was 100.3. Now 3-1.
And I still don't think he'll get a fastball. With 2 outs, tie ball game, you do have Chris Rembert on deck, but that gives you a more favorable matchup, although not that favorable. Chris Rembert can really swing the bat, but you don't want to give up a home run here on a hitter's count.
Then he takes ball 4, 2-out walk. They pitch around Frelick. Now it's Rembert's job to make him pay.
Rembert only 4 home runs. He does have home run power. Hit 10 last year. Power number's a little down, but average is still there. He can spray it around. Big right side opening on the infield. He hit that spot earlier in the game.
Tarps off over the right field wall. Cans up. Nothing in 1 to Rembert. What a trend in baseball, started by the Stephen F. Austin club team at Busch Stadium a few weeks ago. And now those guys in center field are the only ones doing it. 1-1. They are living their best life.
Was that you in college?
No.
No.
We'll put that on the gram. Rembert fouls it off.
So slider, fastball in at 95, and slider again. Now at 1-2, he could tie him up with the fastball in. This is what Rembert's thinking. Or try to get the swing and miss, moving away from the barrel, slider away. And those are 2 totally different swing planes, and that's something you got to think through if you're a hitter. You got to protect against that slider away, and just if he throws the fastball in, just fight it off.
He missed a spot, or did he want Rembert to fish?
He wanted to swing and miss. He's not going to put it out over the plate so Rembert can hit it. Now he's seen 3 sliders. Rembert's got the tempo going. Has seen the pitch 3 times. That's why I would think a fastball works here.
Season on the line for the Tigers. Miss with 95. Now what?
Now the runner's in motion. So any ball in the gap's going to score Chase Frelick, although not a speedster over at first base. I think he showed him the fastball there. If I'm guessing, I'm thinking slider here.
Furness no longer holding Frelick. Here's the payoff to Rembert. And he missed with the slider, ball 4, and Auburn's got a pair on after back-to-back walks.
The only way that works is if he's just sitting dead red. But in this day and age of baseball, you start to expect off speed and hitters counts. 3-2, Chris Rembert knows he's going to get the slider, sells out to it. That's how he's able to take it, because that's a swing and miss pitch. 2 walks in a row for J.P. Robertson, who now has to attack Ethan Bingaman. Can't walk another.
Just catches the edge with the fastball. Nothing in 1 to Bingaman, who had 4 home runs in the regional. 4 of his 6 extra bases. Also had a couple of doubles. Auburn left 10 men on base in the loss last night. Off to center field. Federico got fooled. That is into his glove. What a recovery by Hayden Federico.
Wow.
That'll get the heart rate going.
That's 2 runs right there that I guess he saved. He made a mistake by coming in, but what an athlete. Hayden Federico goes back and an over-the-shoulder catch. That ball was spinning, too, away from him. Not only does he recover and go back, but he makes that play. That was impressive.
Another pair stranded by the home team, the Auburn Tigers. And Federico uses every bit of his frame and the leather to haul it in and end the inning. Robertson out of trouble. This is what they call the left side of the bracket for Omaha, West Virginia, and Troy. Both first-timers at the College World Series this season. West Virginia cruised past Cal Poly, a couple of blowouts, and Troy rode the record-setting crowds to sweep Little Rock. UNC-USC tomorrow in a Game 3. And a first pitch strike from Jackson Sanders into Dom Decker. This is a real conundrum for Auburn. It's the top of the lineup here for Ole Miss.
Where three of the next 4 hitters for Ole Miss are left-handed. Jackson Sanders actually better against right-handed hitters at 191. Lefties hit 240.
Why do you think that is, given his
A lot of times with the lefty-lefty matchup, they're just not able to hit the outside corner enough. And so they split the plate too much.
Crane back, Terrell in, and Bub Terrell handles it. Big first out. UFL playoffs are here. DC Defenders take on the Orlando Storm this Sunday. It'll be tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern. You can watch it on ABC and stream the game live on the ESPN app. Here's your ride home. I'd have to tell him to come back tomorrow if Auburn can pull it off.
Yeah, that visual gives me the shakes, man. I had to learn to fly in one of those. Those 360s at 5,000 feet are not fun at all.
Hold on, you said you had to learn to fly. Nobody forced you to become a pilot.
Good point. I thought it would be fun, but once I got too deep into it, I couldn't back out.
Judd Udemark due up. He's the all-time home run king for Ole Miss baseball. He had a 2-run home run last night. He owns a 2-run double today.
No, I said I had to learn in one of those.
Oh, I see.
Why couldn't I learn in a brand new Cirrus or something like that? Instead, it was a 172 with tape on the wings.
We'd be a bigger check.
We'd be up at 5,000 feet, and my instructor would say, "Hey, your door's open here. I'll take the wheel. You or the yoke. You shut the door for me at 5,000 feet."
Udemark hits 100 points higher against left-handers. He's approaching Tim Elko's single-season record, but he's got the all-time career record. And he hits them a long way. We never got a distance on his home run last night, but 9 of his first 21 home runs have been over 400 feet. And the 6'5", 250-pound senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, watches that one miss, and now he's ahead in the count 2-1. 22 home runs last year. He's matched that total this season. Backdoor breaking ball catches the edge. Huge pitch from Sanders.
And Judd Utermark smokes left-handed pitching, 400 average with 12 home runs.
2-2. And on the shoe tops. Payoff. Just inside. And Utermark earns a 1-out walk. So Sanders has hit 2 batters and walked the third. He's recorded 6 outs in that frame. And he's got to deal with Will Furness. It's a 3-hole hitter for Ole Miss, but Furness is hitless in this super regional, now 0 for 8. Alex Petrovic was perfect first time through the order plus.
And Judd Utermark over there at first base is a beast, 6'5", 250. So you look over there and don't think he can run. He's 11 to 12 in stolen bases, so he'll take off.
Long striders.
There it is.
That one gets past Fralick off the edge of the glove. 7th pass ball this season charged to Fralick. And a go-ahead run advances 90 feet. Also takes a double play out of order.
Yeah, just a slider down low, and Fralick tries to go out and get it with the glove and just whiffs.
And a breaking ball hammered deep right field. It is gone! Go-ahead 2-run home run, Will Furness.
And that's what we talked about with Jackson Sanders, lefty on lefty matchup, just not able to get those sliders and cutters out on the outside corner like he wants. That one catches too much of the plate. And Will Furness, even though it had a little top spin to it, crushes it to right field. Ole Miss with 2 here in the bottom of the 8th.
And this changes everything. Not only the lead for Ole Miss, which is the home team on the scoreboard in this one, but it will give them an opportunity to go to Walker Hooks, one of the best closers in baseball. Hooks got the job done last night for Ole Miss. This is Tristan Becerra now. Becerra is 0 for 2 with a walk. Will Furness with his 8th home run of the season.
None bigger than that one.
And they'll visit Sanders. There is action in both bullpens right now. And here's why there's action in the Auburn pen.
Well, watch where this location, this slider is at you and out over the middle of the play. That is not where Chase Freilich wanted it. Will Furnace, once he sees that slider at him, he knows it's going to cut back over the plate and just catches it out front. What a big home run for the Rebels.
Ole Miss is not impervious to blown leads. They have 3 losses this season when leading after 8 innings. But if Auburn's going to do it, they're going to have to do it with the bottom half of the lineup. And the bottom of the 8th still not done. 2-0 to Becerra. In for a strike, 2-1. That is just the second career go-ahead home run in the 7th or later for Furnace. He also did it in an SEC game against Florida last year. And this ball is crushed deep right field. Back-to-back jacks for the Rebels.
Team leading 23rd home run for Tristan Becerra, and he knew it right when it left the bat. Just another pitch by Sanders that splits the plate. Lefty on lefty matchup. The Stormtroopers are out.
There's a small pocket of Ole Miss fans in the ballpark up the third base line behind the home dugout. And they are ecstatic now with their powder blue pom-poms. Those Shakers have been going nuts. Even though there were some nerves early in this game, they trailed 2-0 after 4. Home runs for Furnace and Becerra.
First 4 innings for Auburn were 3 up, 3 down. And starting in the 5th is when Ole Miss started to create some traffic, and that'll be it for Jackson Sanders.
Hugs and kisses on one side, trying to drown their sorrows on the other. Ryan Hetzler will come out of the Auburn bullpen. Tristan Becerra, this 23rd home run. He's now just 1 behind CWS hero Tim Elko from 22 for the single season record.
Well, you saw the slider to Will Furnace in almost the identical spot, whereas a left-handed hitter, you see it coming at you. You know he's probably going to throw it. You see the spin, and it's going to break right over the middle of the plate. That one a little more elevated than the one to Will Furnace, but both are middle, and Tristan Becerra smoked that one.
6th time this year the Rebels have hit back-to-back home runs, the first time since May 9th against A&M. Furness started the party, and Becerra continued it. Five unanswered runs for Ole Miss after trailing 2-0 through 4. Ryan Hetzler now on the mound. And Hayden Federico fouls one off.
96-mile-an-hour tops on the four-seamer. Slider curveball change to left-handers, hitting 306 off Hetzler. Fastball slider to right-handers, hitting $181.
Breaking ball popped up. Terrell. 2 down. Udemark drew a 1-out walk in advance of the Furness home run. And then Becerra followed with the solo shot. Ole Miss came into this super regional weekend 20th in the country in home runs. First pitch strike to Owen Pano. And Mike Bianco trying to sweep through a super regional for just the second time in school history. Race to the bag, won by Bingaman. It is a 5-2 lead for Ole Miss. Rebels feeling good. For Auburn, it's do or die. Down 3 as we head to the top of the ninth. Look at the Capital One rewarding performance. No surprise with this is Todd.
Yeah, how about Will Furness with the runner on? The top spin drive to right field. That gives Ole Miss their 3rd and 4th runs, and then this hammer by Tristan Becerra. 23rd home run on the year. That goes way back. Both sliders right down the middle of the plate. Rebels take a commanding lead. Auburn's got 3 outs left.
5-2 the lead, and now they got to deal with the Ole Miss closer, Walker Hooks, who's in the game for the 2nd time in as many nights. Hooks has gone back-to-back numerous times this season, including against A&M back in early May when he threw 45 pitches on the 8th and came back for 7 pitches on the 9th. The sophomore from Brandon, Mississippi, gave up a solo home run in the 9th inning last night, but hung on to shut the door on Auburn.
Yeah, went 2 innings last night, faced 8 hitters, and 2 strikeouts. Did give up the solo blast to Mason McCrane, but he's one of the best.
Bub Terrell will start the 9th for Auburn. And a first pitch fastball in for a strike. Terrell with an RBI single, surrounded by a couple of Ks, both swinging. Defensive change for Ole Miss. Brett Mosley is now in center field. He pushes Federico to left. And Randall out of the game. Terrell starts the inning with a single up the middle. And there's life in this ballpark.
Yeah, well, it's always important to get the first guy on with nobody out. It's going to be station to station. He's not going anywhere on a steal. And they are facing the bottom of this lineup. Brandon McCrane, the 7-hole, followed by the lefty Cade Ballou, due up as a lefty-lefty matchup.
Latest news on the Super Regionals, visit ncaa.com. Brandon McCrane 0 for 3 today. Hooks had back-to-back appearances against A&M, at Arkansas, against Georgia, at Tennessee, and has thrown twice in any given 3-game series, 3 more times in SEC play.
Equally good against the right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters, both hitting below 200 on him. Not an overpowering fastball, 92, 93, but the changeup looks just like the fastball with about a 15-mile-an-hour difference, and that's his out.
McCrane faced him last night, smashed the ball to the left side, but it went right into the glove of the shortstop Pano. 31 pitches to pick up the save last night for Walker Hooks. Shot foul. Two and two now to Brandon McCrane.
Good patient at bat for Brandon McCrane. Field in double play depth. Will Furnace holding the runner on at first. Big gap on the infield to the right side.
Auburn couldn't advance out of its Super Regional last year. Swept by Coastal Carolina. Now on the ropes here in Game 2 against Ole Miss. Full count to McCrane. Swing and a miss. Hooks has a nasty changeup, and now Ole Miss is 2 outs away from Omaha.
Got it right up into the hands of Brandon McCrane. And he had been fighting fastballs during that at bat. And at 3 and 2, that's what you think's coming. And he just pulls the string on that changeup, low and in. Brandon McCrane right over the top of it. Look at this action.
History is not on Auburn's side. The last time they overcame a 3-run deficit in the 9th inning was against Georgia in 2023. They won that game in 11 innings. Bottom third of the order is now 0 for 10 with Cade Ballou 0 for 3 today. They say win. 0-2.
From the side, that's really close.
What's Ballou looking for? 1-2.
Well, you have to protect against the off speed. You got to kind of put the fastball out of your mind. If he does throw it, you just fight it off. But you have to respect that changeup and sitting back on that timing.
Now 2-2.
So for me, I was always sold out to the changeup right here. And if he throws the fastball, you're not going to pull it, but at least be quick enough to put it in play.
Ole Miss hasn't blown a 3-run lead in the 9th inning since 2019. That came in a midweek against Arkansas State. Up and in. 3 home runs in the regional for Ballou. Hit him. And Auburn's got a pair of base runners. The Tigers will bring the tying run to the plate. And it's a true freshman, Taylor Belza, with only 1 start all season until the regionals.
Gabe Gross wants to talk.
Everybody will get together and chat, with Foley heading to the mound to have a word with his closer, Walker Hooks. If you're Taylor Belza, what's the approach against Walker Hooks, who has a high swing and miss rate on his changeup?
For me, it was always eliminate the pull side on lefties early in the count. If you get ahead, then maybe you can think about cheating a little bit with your front side, get the barrel out to tie this game up. But for me, it's totally respect of the changeup, because Hooks is going to use it 50% of the time, but he also gets 50% swing and misses on it as well. So if you're a hitter, that's what you got to look for.
Rebels took game 1 6-4.
Taylor Belza has 7 at-bats against left-handed pitching all year. Does have 3 hits.
They rotated a number of different hitters through the DH role all season. Gave Belza a shot in the regional, and he delivered. Two home runs this season for Belza. And he gets away from Foley. Both base runners advance. Season on the line for Auburn. True freshman Taylor Belza at the plate.
That just doesn't happen to Foley. And he tried to trap it without turning the glove over. It gets by him.
In for a strike, 1-1. Hooks threw last night. Belza was not in the lineup. He did not see him. This is their first matchup all year. And it's lifted to right field. Becetta's got plenty of space. Terrell will score. And Ole Miss will be pleased to trade a run for an out. They're now 1 out away from their 7th trip to Omaha.
And Taylor Belza just barely missed that one. He had the launch angle on that swing. Just got in on him just enough to keep it in the ballpark. I mean, this was close right here to getting out, tying this game. Jams him up just enough. He tried to pull the hands in, but just does not get enough of the barrel to get it out of here. 2 outs now for the Rebs, 1 out away from another trip to Omaha.
So Mangrum, the pitching coach, will visit Hooks. Spreading. Auburn is 0 for 7 with 2 outs tonight. In this weekend, just 2 for 16 with 2 outs.
And Mason McCrane faced Taylor Hooks last night, or Walker Hooks, and took him over the batting eye. Got a chance here to tie the game.
That home run for McCrane was his 9th of the season, his 2nd in the postseason. 387-foot home run for Mason McCrane last night. Auburn down to its last out. McCrane takes a first pitch strike. One and one. Mason McCrane, a freshman from Salem, Alabama, out of Glenwood High School. Had a fantastic regional. 5 extra base hits. And he takes strike 2. Auburn down to its last strike. Hooks delivers. Little tapper to third. Scooping it is Udemark, off balance throw, and he got it! Ole Miss is returning to Omaha. They're going to pause the celebration. Auburn wants to challenge it and see if McCrane beat the throw to first.
Auburn is challenging the ruling of out at first base.
Fitting that it would be Udemark who makes the final play. He had a 2-run double in the 6th. He had a 2-run home run last night.
If this stands, which I think it will, what a play by Udemark to come in and then just a frozen rope over to first base, just right on the line.
This shouldn't take long. And Walker Hooks going to nail down his 2nd save in as many games. And for the first time since they won it all in 2022, Ole Miss will return to Omaha. And just like 22, they have done it all away from home in Oxford. And the final word.
After review, the call on the field of out is confirmed.
Rebels are headed back to Omaha in the Men's College World Series for the first time since they won it all in 22.
You mentioned it for Mike Bianco. This season is starting to mirror 2022. They lost the first game they play in the SEC tournament. 2022, they lost the first game to Missouri. In the tournament this year, they sweep through the regional 3-0, sweep through the supers at 2-0, and they're headed back to Omaha. Congratulations to the Ole Miss Rebels.
Robertson got the win, and heartbreak on the other side for Auburn for the 2nd consecutive season. They failed to advance out of their own super regional. Disappointing finish to the season for Auburn after a fantastic year. The number 4 national seed is eliminated on its home field in supers for the 2nd straight season. West Virginia, Troy, and Ole Miss will punch their tickets to Omaha. Tomorrow it'll be either North Carolina or Southern California. Man, what a series and what a run for Mike Bianco and the Ole Miss Rebels.
And then the Auburn Tigers, what a year they had. If there's any silver lining, they don't lose anybody this year. Maybe Chris Rembert goes. Outside of that, they've got the same team back next year for Auburn. We'll take a look at Judge Udemark. Almost slips. And how does he keep that throw on line? Ole Miss headed to Omaha.
Pair of 2-run victories for the Rebels of Ole Miss. The first SEC team punches its ticket. for the conference that has won each of the last 6 national championships. For Todd Walker, our fantastic crew here in Auburn, Alabama, I'm Tom Hart. Still more baseball coming your way in Austin, Texas, Oregon, and Texas with Kyle Peterson and Chris Burke. Here's Carl Ravitch.
We had a really good week of practice. I believe Coach B has said that multiple times, but you know, that week of practice.